Another house kind of related to George Washington we got to talk about.
Yes.
Well, hello there, pair of peeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. I'm your host, Sean Donnelly.
I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
We are here at Kenmore.
The Kenmore Estate.
Kenmore Estates, which is that building back there. And I think that's the kitchen over there.
The kitchen.
And the laundry's over there. And I don't know what order these are coming out, but the property where Mary Washington's monument is used to be part of Kenmore.
Yes, and it's over there.
Yeah, so we're going to tell you about this. We're going to go inside. But before we get into that, if you're into the paranormal, history, forensic, and travel type video,
don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ding that little bell so you'll hear from us next time we post a new video.
This house here was the house of
Betty and Fielding.
Yeah, Betty Washington was George Washington's younger sister.
Right, and her husband, Fielding Lewis.
Yeah, so Fielding Lewis was a very wealthy man that moved to Fredericksburg. His father owned a couple merchant ships and some warehouses downtown Fredericksburg and a store called the Lewis Store.
Yes, the Lewis Store, and we passed it yesterday.
B?
I didn't take any pictures of it, though.
That's okay. But eventually his son, Fielding, took over, moved here to Fredericksburg. His first wife was a Washington. Was it Christine? Catherine Washington.
Or Caroline.
Was cousins
to George.
Which would have been cousins to Betty. She passed away, and he met Betty Washington. Well, he probably knew him.
He probably knew him from the family.
Yeah, so they got together, had some children. There were 6 children that lived in this house with him.
Yes.
Right?
At Mary's house, they said 11, but not all 11 actually stayed in this house because some of them were grown up and had moved on their own already before they moved in here.
Right. Towards the end of his life, he was broke. Partially for building this house.
Because of what you're going to see inside.
Yeah. Wait till you see what they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Partially
amazing.
because of building this house, and then the Revolutionary War came, and it was illegal
to
trade with England and Caribbean and everything, which was the bulk of his income. Then he spent his own money to build a armament factory.
Ammunitions factory, yes.
They only gave him $2,000 in today's money to build it, and he refitted some of his ships to guard the river here, which, what they say, they were eventually in the Battle of Yorktown. His ships, I think they said that.
I missed that part.
Yeah, where Cornwallis.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so
Yes,
his ships were in that battle. So he died poor, which leads to the paranormal claims.
That's right.
The major paranormal claims, there's several in this house. You know, of course, the standard whispers and foot creaks and the, floorboards creaking and stuff like that. Is the apparition of Fielding
Lewis himself
in his office, which we're going to show you, and walking around worrying about money.
Going through the finances and just being all upset. And that makes sense because he literally lost his fortunes.
Lost his fortune.
And
actually part of his father's fortune too.
Yeah, and the ability to get more money because of the basically not being allowed to trade and do what his family business was.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go inside, take the tour. We'll be back.
That's our earliest photographic evidence of what this would have been. Doesn't show the house, but it shows this. Georgian style architecture, 300,000 bricks make up this home. We're only going to tour the first floor rooms of the house. I'll explain why that is. Betty, when they lived here in the 1700s, this would have been 1,300 acres. And again, you're welcome to sit in these. Everything else, true period piece. And for the most part, if you know this, then I apologize. That's fantastic. Thank you for coming to Kenmore if you've never been in Fredericksburg and this is your first place. If you take anything away from Kenmore, the real reason Kenmore is known is for its plaster ceilings. You will never see any plaster ceilings in any home of America that are like this. After Betty leaves in 1795 to their son, George, who was one of the two that didn't move in because he's living in a plantation. 1875 original plaster work. This master plasterer is also responsible for that over mantelpiece. That's plaster work, and it's a depiction of one of Aesop's fables, Fox and Crow. I won't get into it. The same plasterer is responsible for these frames that you see decorating the interior walls, as well as those side pieces of the transom. Those are going to be depictions of date palms. Another example of the woodwork done from the woodworker fireplace mantles. So, bear with me. Well, before this house is finished, this guy's working on ceilings, the stucco man. George Washington, literally in a tent in Massachusetts, getting ready to fight another battle, finishing up furnishing the dining room. This carpet's the last thing that she does. Come to find out that there was a carpet manufacturer in Liverpool, England, which was the port. Like, for example, that's a cellaret. Cellaret's just where you would keep under a lock and key your, let's say, your brandy or your Madeira wine. Same thing with that ice chest. Same purpose as a cellaret, if that makes sense. And also some of the features about it. The first feature is that it literally has a name called the Four Seasons ceiling. The reason for that is because each corner of the ceiling represents one of the seasons, 4 seasons of the year. This is mistletoe for winter. These are acorns for fall, date palms for spring, and grapes for summer. Now keep in mind, just dang, crazy stuff. But amazing that this survives the Battle of Fredericksburg, December 1862, because, same thing with his second wife, Betty. After she passes away in 1797, it stays in the Washington, since she's in Washington, stays in Washington's, passes away from tuberculosis. We do know, well, in the county west on Route 3 towards the Blue Ridge Mountains, probably about 35 miles west of us, called Western View. She goes to visit, gets ill, passes. So no decorative walls, no decorative ceiling, very plain. The floor cloth that's on display here is based on 3 pieces of the original floor cloth that are on display in the visitor center that they found repairing any of the, or I should say, completing the design of the stucco work, because some of these decorative design pieces, some of the rosettes or maybe some of the leaves, they pop off because of that cannonball blast. And Mr. Howard Jr., since he's already trained as a sculptor, in his diaries he says that he took wooden blocks, carved out the design of the pieces that were missing and broken, and then puts plaster in there. When it dries, boom, adheres it to the ceiling to complete the restoration work of the stucco man. But he went one step further, because when these experts are cleaning these ceilings, this particular ceiling, some of the design pieces had a little pink hue to them. They go back to Howard, our curator goes back to Howard Jr.'s diaries. He mentions he added brick dust to the plaster before he put it in the mold, so that when it dries, he applies it to the ceiling. Our curators are able to notice, well, that's dadgum interesting. Some of them had the same hue, the rest of them didn't. This way we know the work, the restoration work of Howard Jr. In 1881, 1882. But it's amazing stuff, you know, just like Lois's office. This door is going to be called a tradesperson's entrance, just like from the bedroom to the kitchen. So if you're having any business dealing or if you're working in the laundry building, this is the door you would have used as a figure out what exactly the layout of the basement would have been originally. So we just kind of left it alone. But at least we leave the walls exposed during the restoration.
Okay, Mayor.
Okay.
Kenmore House.
Yes.
What do you think?
The ceilings are ornate. The stucco man,
Phenomenal.
who they don't know what his name is, did amazing work.
Well, we didn't tell him about the stucco man.
We didn't tell him?
No, we just showed clips of it.
Oh.
So the ceilings were done by a guy that they refer to as the stucco man. They don't know what his name was.
Yes.
They think he might have been an indentured servant.
Indentured servant, yeah.
But he also did the ceiling at Mount Vernon's
Vernon.
dining room, and there's letters between Washington and Lund, whoever
Yes.
Lund was, who was overseeing the construction of Mount Vernon when George Washington was, off the battle.
In battle.
That the stucco man came from here, went over there.
And that the stucco man
And they
was
called him
finished
the
up
stucco
with
man.
it that and was coming back here to finish.
Yeah, we were told that
Lewis's.
those letters are in the Library of Congress, which
Yes.
we'll maybe look up.
Yeah.
But they don't know what this guy's name
Yeah,
was.
they never wrote his name in any of the
Phenomenal work.
correspondence. It was always just listed as the stucco man.
And the one thing that the docent said, which is remarkable, this house dates back to
75 was when it was
1775.
completed.
Okay.
1770 to 1775 is when it was built.
Several families have lived in here over the years. Civil War hospital, and a cannonball went through that one room, hit the wall, cracked the ceiling,
Yes.
but they're still intact.
Yes. It's amazing. And
Crazy.
the intricacy is beyond
Yeah.
anything I've ever seen.
I hope the pictures and stuff to
Do it
show the
justice.
details,
Yeah.
because it's amazing. There's no other house in the United States that has ceilings like that.
Yes. And they actually said that they don't allow tours to go on the second story there behind us because they want to protect the floors. They don't
The
want,
ceiling.
or the ceilings from the floors above. As people were walking, they saw it was vibrating, and they didn't want it to eventually cause problems.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're going to save the 1775 ceilings, and I think it's a wise choice.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah, because upstairs
amazing.
they said it's just white wall. There's really nothing there.
And it
It's
makes sense because, again,
4
that's
bedrooms
not
upstairs.
where you're going to take any guests. You're going to take guests downstairs. The guests aren't going to go upstairs to your bedroom, so it wouldn't matter. You didn't have to show your opulence up there. So,
Right.
yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add to this one?
Just the stucco works amazing.
Yeah. Pretty cool. All right, folks. Till next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting. Let us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting.